House of Assembly. It is indeed heartwarming and spirit-lifting to have this rare privilege, an opportunity of welcoming the creme de la creme of the society on this auspicious occasion, which even in itself is epochal. Of a truth, the landmarks and milestones which great men and nations attain are not by a sudden flight. Rather, such are achieved through painstaking and unwavering commitment to the desired goal. It is therefore apposite to say that the edifice which is being inaugurated today has behind it a rich history of careful and methodical planning and dogged commitment of both the legislature and the executive arms of government. To say that Lagos State House of Assembly has become the destination of all eyes among other state houses of assembly across the country, as well as focus of interest by the international community can only be an understatement. Our mission, vision, and even core values, which indeed are guiding principles and driving force, are geared towards making this house the leading light and pathfinder for Nigerian and African legislatures. I want to assure this gathering that the House will redouble its efforts in its desire for the establishment of a truly democratic and representative legislature committed to good governance and the overall interests and well-being of good people of the state of excellence. As you will agree with me, the role of the legislation in the democratic dispensation cannot be overemphasized. According to Herman and Mendel, it is the legislature that lays down basic principles which the judiciary has to interpret and which it uses as a frame of reference in adjudicating cases. And of course, which the executive has to apply in the implementation of policies and execution of laws. This scenario and constitutional responsibility place enormous responsibilities on the legislation in order for the other two arms to function effectively and efficiently. Today, we are celebrating an assembly that has carved a niche for itself, an assembly that has proved to the world that as parliamentarians, they are ready to take their state to the next level. An assembly which, through dint of dedication and hard work, has churned out people-friendly and progressive laws, and an assembly whose leadership has always demonstrated impressive commitment to the capacity building of its members and the entire workforce. I therefore urge distinguished personalities here present to celebrate these illustrious 40 honorable members who have resolved to make the Lagos dream a fait accompli. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my belief that in this new chamber, the voice of the people of Lagos will be resoundingly articulated by their representatives. In this chamber, God willing, we will see a new Lagos speaking, a new Lagos being guided and inspired by feelings of patriotism and altruism, a new Lagos being motivated and inspired by the shining examples of our great leaders, a new Lagos that will not only be the pride of Lagosians, but Nigeria in general. I also pray and hope that the honorable members, including staffers of the House, will continue to think big, think out of box, and show the way forward in our case in making Lagos a mega city of note. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I humbly and respectfully request that you celebrate with and join us in the convivialities of today. Once again, it is my pleasure to heartily welcome you to this memorable event of the millennium. Thank you and God bless.
That's the global clock, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day of the legislative.
Yes, that was the
I'd like to welcome
address by the acting clerk of the House, Mr. Ganiu Olusegun Abiru. And he has said a few things about this wonderful House of Assembly. And I'd just like to let you know that the new assembly complex that was commissioned in 1980 by Alhaji Lateef Kade Jakande comprised the legislative chamber where the legislators held their parliamentary and plenary sessions, and the offices for legislators, management, and staff. It is instructive to also note that this legislative chamber still remains the best legislative chamber in the country and has stood the test of time for well over 30 years, not only because of its value as an historical monument, but given its outlook as an architectural masterpiece. That complex was first occupied by 36 honorable members in the first and second Legislative Assembly, that is between 1979 and 1983. 30 members in the third Assembly, that is between 1992 and 1993, and by 40 lawmakers at the twilight of the new democratic dispensation in 1999, which ushered in the Fourth Republic and the Fourth Legislative Assembly. The 40 seats are still being maintained by elected lawmakers even in the 7th Assembly. And now I'll just go back into the hall where the activities continue with the introduction of the project and the project team.
ACN is the biggest party in Africa, and the chairman cannot be sitting where he is. So I have to invite him to join us on the high table. Lagos State Chairman, Chief Henry Ajomale. A round of applause for him, please. The Jagaban has told me he has work to do in the grassroots. He should stay where he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to Engineer P.O. Bangboshi Martins. Which room will I be staying in the building?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, CFR, His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, is absent. Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Honorable Joke Adejoke Orelope Adefulure. The Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Adeyemi Kuforiji. The list of the protocol is indeed very long, and therefore I will seek for your permission to please allow me to stand on the protocol list that had already been taken by the acting clerk. If I have your kind permission, I would continue. Thank you. Now, my job is very simple. It is to let you understand what we are here to do today. Now, the idea of a befitting new chamber for the Lagos State House of Assembly was actually conceived by the present Speaker, the Right Honorable Adeyemi Kuforiji. Thank you for clapping for him. And it was approved by His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State. You may want to clap again, please. The project was a designed and built one, and this was produced by Messrs. Home Agenda, who eventually were the contractors for the project. The site where the project is situated was the original canteen for the old chamber. Now, the old chamber has been preserved for other uses, while we had to demolish the canteen for this new edifice. As we would all see later on, we'll realize that this is indeed an edifice that is befitting of Lagos State being the center of excellence. The project was started in May 2009, and it was recently completed. Having said that, if you check on the page 19 of the brochure you have, we have listed there the various components of the building. It is a building that has 2 stories. On the ground floor is the entrance lobby, the reception. The main chamber is there with 54 number seats for legislators. We have 177 seats for dignitaries. The Speaker's guest room is there. We have the security room, the kitchenette, and actually we have convenience on every floor. The ground floor, the first floor, and the second floor. On the first floor, we have the gallery with 345 seats. We have the Corella